When you're designing in Squarespace, you might find that you want some text left aligned on desktop, but it would look better center aligned on mobile. Annoyingly, you can't do this with the built-in Squarespace features, but today I'm going to show you how to do it with a really simple bit of CSS. So let's dive right in. Okay, so I am just currently on a Squarespace 7.1 test site, but this will work exactly the same whether you're using 7.0 or 7.1. I've got a few Squarespace generated sections, and I'm just going to show you how you can center align or change the alignment of any text block on a different screen size. So whether that's mobile or desktop. So generally we design our sites in desktop first, but with so many people visiting websites on their mobiles these days, it's very important that we make sure that everything is looking good on mobile too. Now, Squarespace automatically adapts your page for mobile, so it does do a lot of the work for you, but this adaptation from desktop to mobile is different depending on what Squarespace version you're using. But one thing that you can't do still between all versions is change the alignment of your text. So for example, maybe you want this title to be center aligned, but on desktop you want it to remain left aligned. And that is such a common thing to want because the size of a desktop screen and a mobile screen are so different. It's so common for people to use different alignment between mobile and desktop. So I don't know why this isn't a thing yet. I'm hoping this is something that they bring to the new Squarespace 7.1 Fluid Engine soon, but it's still not possible. So we can use a little bit of CSS. And so what I'm going to show you is how to use CSS to adjust your alignment on mobile. Because like I said, we generally design in desktop first and then adapt for mobile. I would say the majority of people do that. So it makes sense for us to make tweaks to the mobile text alignment and just leave the desktop as is. I should point out too that I really recommend using this only where it's necessary and using it sparingly. What you really don't want to do is change your whole mobile site to center aligned. And I know that a lot of amateur or beginner designers often do this, but it's really not recommended. If you have any sort of paragraph of text, generally it's better if it's left aligned. And the same is with desktop as well. As soon as you have a large paragraph of text and you center align it, it becomes a lot harder to read because the beginning of your lines are not lined up, and it can actually prevent people from reading the words on your website. So make it easy for them. Keep large bodies of text left aligned so the eye can really follow the words down the page, and it will be more likely that people actually read your text. But for titles and maybe small bullet points and other small bits of text, they might look better center aligned on mobile. So use it sparingly and keep that in mind. Don't go and change your whole mobile site to center aligned text. Okay, so actually this is really easy, but the first thing that we need to do is download the Squarespace ID Finder. And this is a Chrome extension that you can find on the Chrome Web Store. So you do need to be using the Google Chrome browser to use this ID Finder. But if you're using Squarespace, you should be using Google Chrome anyway because it is what Squarespace recommends. So I recommend, and Squarespace recommends, using Google Chrome. And then you can download this amazing, free, great plugin that's going to help you with any sort of coding you're doing. So I'm going to link this ID Finder below this video. Click on that link, open up this page, and click Install up here. Then it will install it immediately into your Chrome toolbar up here. Go back to your Squarespace website, and we're going to click on the ID Finder, and you're going to see all these numbers show up. So the ID Finder basically pulls out the unique IDs for every block, section, and page from the code. So it saves us from having to scroll through the code and search for these IDs. But essentially every page, so it'll say collection, every section, and every single block has its own unique ID, which makes it really easy for us to target specific blocks when we're using custom CSS. So if we wanted to adjust this text here, you can't really see it because my IDs are covering it, but I'll just click to turn it off. We want to target this piece of text, and the IDs are the same whether you're viewing mobile or desktop. So I can look at it here as well. I want to target this block. So I'm going to click on that block ID, and it's going to automatically copy it. And I'm going to flip this back into mobile view just so we can see what happens when I put in this bit of code. And we're going to go to Design, Custom CSS. So this is where we put any custom CSS we're working on. I've got a bunch in here. I'm just going to put the new CSS at the top. And I'm going to paste in that ID that we just copied. So the next part is another piece of code that you can either copy and paste from our blog post on this topic. I will link the copy and paste codes below, so you can go to that blog post and just copy everything from it. Or you can just manually type it out by looking at this video. But I'm going to paste it in underneath. You can see it says at media only screen and bracket max width 767 pixels. So this is basically saying that we want to target the screen size with a max width of 767 pixels. And 767 pixels is actually the breakpoint of where Squarespace changes from tablet or small desktop to mobile. So it's basically just saying only change under that size. And so under that size would be anything on mobile. Then it says here, insert block ID, which we'll do, and text align center. So this is just going to center align the text within the block ID under that screen size. So I'm going to copy again this block ID. I'm just going to delete it from there and paste it into this template. So if you didn't see, that text is now center aligned. And if you go back to desktop, it's still left aligned. So basically that's it. You can play around with this. If you wanted it to be center aligned on a different screen size, you can adjust the pixel size here. Or if you wanted it to be the opposite, so you wanted to change it on desktop and not on mobile, you would change it to a minimum width 767, as that's going to now target sizes over that size. So it would be desktop size. If I go back to mobile, it'll be left aligned. I'm just going to change that back to max. So feel free to check out that full blog post, copy this piece of code, and then you can go ahead and target any blocks you want. So just for an example, and I wouldn't really recommend center aligning this because it is a bigger paragraph, but just as an example, I'm going to also use this block here and show you how to use multiple blocks within this code. So all you need to do is come to the end of the previous block ID, type in a comma, click enter, just down to a new line, and paste. So now you'll see both of these are center aligned on mobile, and they're both left aligned on desktop. I'm just going to remove this one and take it back to where we were. So really simple. You can use as many IDs as you want from all around your site. It doesn't have to be on the same page. The block IDs will always stay the same. They'll never change unless you go in and you remove the block and add a new block. So just be aware that whenever you're adding any CSS for specific block IDs, that if you do move or replace that block, you'll need to potentially update the ID. So just keep an eye on it. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below. If you like this video, you'll probably like this one too, so definitely check that out. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.